Hey, Leanne. It's good to
Hi.
see you again. I know you've been in there with Julie having your sort of follow-up visit after your screening. I wonder how that's gone and
Follow-up felt like a berating.
berating.
She told me I had to quit smoking and told me everything that it could do to me and something about high blood pressure.
Okay. So she had a lot to say about smoking and the consequences of smoking.
Yeah, I thought high blood pressure went with weight. Somebody should talk to her about her weight.
Well, I'm going to let her counselor talk about Julie's weight. Well, you're right that one of the things about blood pressure is certainly overweight people are at risk.
So why am I at risk?
Well, tell me what you heard in there. What was Julie saying?
She just said smoking can affect your blood pressure. I feel okay. I mean, smoking relaxes me.
Okay. So, from your perspective, what you heard was smoking has these consequences with your blood pressure. But you feel okay, and smoking...
I just feel like she was just mean. You got to quit smoking. You can't do this. It's bad for your health. You know, I'm thin. I'm okay. I've never had cancer. I've never had any. Don't you have headaches with blood pressure? I've never had a headache.
Okay.
I don't understand. She just wasn't real nice about it.
Okay. Well, so it sounds like one thing I can do is not fuss at you anymore.
Please don't.
And let me help you kind of try to connect the dots. Tell me what didn't make sense about what Julie had to say. The connection between smoking and blood pressure. I mean, you're doing a lot of good thinking.
I've been smoking for 30 years.
Okay.
I've never had any blood pressure problems.
Okay.
I don't see how it relates.
Yeah. So you feel fine.
Correct.
You've been a long-time smoker, and headaches absolutely are one symptom. And you're saying, I don't have that.
No, I don't.
Okay. And so she said she's concerned about your blood pressure.
That's what she said. She said it was like 150 over 90.
Okay. And what did she, how high did she say that was, or what was your reaction to hearing those numbers, or did those numbers...
I think I asked, I said I've never had high blood pressure before, and I think my normal's like 100 over 60, so,
So it's definitely higher than normal.
Well, it's higher now. She made me mad.
Okay. So, again, I heard you saying that you've been a long-time smoker and that your blood pressure now is higher than your normal. When you think about what happens when blood pressure is high, what do you know about consequences? Headaches is one thing. Why don't we sort of stay with...
I've heard like strokes,
Yeah.
that doesn't run in my family, and
Okay.
so
So no family history.
no, sir.
Okay. So some part of you says, I feel fine, no family history, so even though my blood pressure is high today, higher than usual.
That's what she says, but I just don't understand it. Why now?
Okay. Would it be okay if I talk about the connection between smoking and blood pressure? Because it sounds like maybe that would be helpful.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
Yeah. So you're right, Leanne, that a lot of times blood pressure gives people headaches and causes some of the serious consequences, and that you felt fine is a good thing. What happens, especially when people have smoked for a significant period of time, is it does lead to an increase in the possibility of high blood pressure. And I suspect what Julie was reacting to, maybe the timing wasn't right or the message wasn't right, is she's making a connection between how long you've smoked, how much you've smoked, and a blood pressure that I think most people would call, elevated, certainly higher than your normal. But what do you think as I make that connection? Does that something that concerns you.
It is up, but I just wasn't offered anything else. It's just like, you got to quit smoking. But smoking's important to me. It relaxes me, and I have a child, and I just kind of helps me deal with her shenanigans, and it just it's something I enjoy.
So, if we set smoking aside, there are, as you suggest, other ways people manage high blood pressure that you and I could talk about. Part of the program is to help you look at options. So that's one, is cutting back on smoking that we can set aside. And I guess I'll say cutting back, because it doesn't have to be all or nothing, but cutting back. But there are changes in diet, salt, and other foods that relate to high blood pressure.
Now you're getting rid of my chips.
Okay. Or more activity. People being a little more active, walking more, finding an exercise program. Are there other things you've heard of that people do to bring blood pressure down?
I guess what you said. I've never really thought about it.
Diet.
I feel like I get exercise just hanging out with my child, but
Sure.
I guess I don't do anything. I guess what you're talking about is more of a routine.
Well, I guess it wouldn't have to be running a marathon or whatever. I think something conscious that says, in order to deal with this potential problem, I'm going to make a decision to be more active, kind of consciously. But that could be, 10 minutes more walking, or, being active with your kid is an important step. And building in a little more activity consciously. So activity, diet, I guess we hadn't talked about medication. I don't know, did Julie talk about medication for your blood pressure? Are we there yet?
She told me I had to come back in a month, and if I hadn't changed, I guess, quit smoking or any other areas of my life, then medication was next.
Okay. Well, if you and I were to talk over the next month about one of those options, activity or salty food or medication or cutting back on cigarettes, which of those do you feel would be a starting point, something that you feel comfortable starting with?
I guess I could watch what I ate,
Okay.
maybe walk or something on breaks.
Okay. So cutting back on salt a bit and being a little more active on your breaks. Feel like both of those? You want to just pick one?
I could probably do both of those. I'm not so sure about the smoking, though.
Then let's set that aside for now. I understand there's some medical facts about that. What I also know is if you get more active and are better at managing salt in your diet, those are steps that can help you with your blood pressure. And my job is to help you make changes that are going to help you succeed. And so let's leave the other alone now. Why don't you and I roll our sleeves up and think about some specific steps to plan how you can get more active, and talk about some specific food choices and ways you can cut back on salt. Would that be okay?
Sure.
Okay.
I guess I'm bad about eating snacks with my daughter.
Okay.
I guess I can either not eat those snacks or choose a healthier snack.
Okay. So substituting snacks. Mm-hmm. And again, because your weight isn't a concern, the issue of salt and sodium seems to be the most important. So maybe just reading labels.
Sure.
The nutritionist has a list of foods that have sort of hidden sodium, whatever. Maybe if I gave you that, you could compare that.
That would be helpful.
What I'm thinking is, why don't you and I touch base in a couple of weeks, see how you're doing with your walking during your breaks, and you can compare the food list with the choices you're making and talk about any progress on cutting back. How about just starting with those two?
I think I could do that.
Okay. Then what I'll do is I'll make a note to follow up in 2 weeks, be about the halfway point, and we'll see how you're doing, and I believe that if you're doing those 2 steps, you would definitely be making progress on your goal of improving your hypertension, getting that blood pressure down. Anyway, I appreciate you making time, and
Thank you.
especially on a bad day like today.
Thank you.